I'll jump to the second one then.
Okay.
Again, with listing here, I'll just zoom into this RE1. Like, I'm very particular on my listing. I like to have A, B, C, D lines so my guy knows exactly what line instead of BL1 and BL2 and stuff.
Sure.
Now, I tried to list up this, we'll call it, three pieces of pipe, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, this RE1 is the riser nipple, but then it gave me another RE1 for my line.
Yes.
In my head, I can't fathom that, because each line is supposed to have its own unique
Agreed.
number.
Yeah, this certainly could lead to fabrication report conflicts, because you're exactly right. You have two segments that carry the same pipeline description. So if you were to generate reports with this scenario as it is, you would end up with a report that would populate potentially two RE1s, but which one of those pipe segments the program chooses to utilize is kind of a random shot in the dark. So it would recognize that there are two RE1s, but it's not going to recognize that there are different pipe lengths, or that one pipe is slick, groove slick, and the other is groove with outlets. So what we need to do is evaluate and take a look at the prefix that we're utilizing, as well as the incremental value that we're specifying in our pipeline default properties. Because obviously we want to avoid situations like this where the program is duplicating pipeline numbers.
Correct. Oh, I should go back. Settings, application standards, pipeline. I have label all pipelines with unique names as well, because I don't want any
Understood.
random ones popping up that says, oh, go back to E1 when I'm on the D line or something similar. So
Totally understand, 100%.
Okay.
So that looks good. That way, in the event that 3.7.5, the RD1 on the line above, if those are exactly the same, you wouldn't necessarily want those to carry the same label
Correct.
designation. Understood. So you've got your settings set exactly how you want them to be.
Okay. And I try to put sprig so my guys know there's a sprig and it's not the same. I try and give them a heads up that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so all right, so here's what we need to do. We need to have a value in the pipeline input box. Without a value in the pipeline input box, we're telling the program that there's no incremental value.
Okay, not the prefix.
All right, so
Now I have an incremental of 1, a segment, right? Isn't that the same?
well, that's a segment. That's a segment incremental value. But we're going to need a pipeline incremental value because right now you have two different pipe types selected. You've got a riser nipple and a branch line selected.
Okay.
Now we can take a look at. The program shouldn't be breaking that pipeline up. Before you deleted that pipeline, was it a single pipeline that included the riser nipple and the branch line, or was it two separate pipelines?
There was 2 separate arrows, I believe. So, I know that it could have been 1, I guess, because it just said RE1 across both of them. So I don't really. I guess I can do this, right? It's all one piece. It's going to take 2 seconds to do.
Yeah, and see, now we're getting RE1 on both
RE1.
sides. Yeah.
Correct.
So, what we need to do, we're going to need to have that in an overall pipeline incremental value. So you're not necessarily now there are other options. If we were to take a look at if we went back into your fabrication standard settings and went back to the pipeline tab.
Okay. Do you want me to delete this?
Yeah, go ahead and delete that.
Okay.
So let's go into settings,
this.
fab standards.
Oh, you don't want me to select the pipe first? Okay.
No, not yet. And then go to the pipeline tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and select, let's check the merge companion line pipelines across intersections. Without that option selected, the program will always attempt to break that pipeline.
That one? Okay.
Yeah, that way, with that selected, any branch lines you have that cross an intersection like this, the program will create a single pipeline rather than break it up into two pipelines. So this way, those two pipe segments can both carry the RE designation with independent segment designations.
Is that true for the main as well? So should I have the other one checked as well, or no?
Not necessarily. It depends on the scenario. It depends on how you are selecting things and assigning pipelines. So for this scenario, because this branch line is broken at the riser nipple, and even the other branch line is broken at the cross main, without that box selected, the program will create independent pipelines on each side of this branch line intersection.
Okay.
And so without an incremental value, it's going to use the same prefix, and then you're going to end up with duplicate pipelines.
Yeah, I know. I was killing this program yesterday.
And
Okay.
and even if we had and we will, but even if you had an incremental value specified, the program would still break it up, and then you would have an RE1 on one side and an RE2 on the other side. So by selecting
Okay.
this, both of these segments will carry the RE designation, and then you should have an RE.1 or an RE1.1 and RE1.2.
Okay. Is there a way to get an RE1 and an RE2 without the point in there? Again, my OCD, but if I can't, I'm fine with it. That's fine. I'm not going to split hairs over that. I'm already this far into it.
No,
so.
I'm sure that there is a way. Okay, so we've got all three selected. Now, we're telling the program to merge pipelines across intersections as well as merge companion pipeline. So let's go ahead and assign pipelines to the three segments we have selected. Okay, so RE1, RE2, RE3.
Okay.
Now, just see if you can select this pipeline. I want to see if we have a single pipeline. We do. Okay. So, what we've done here is like, I believe this is the result you were looking for. So you use the RE prefix. We didn't specify an overall pipeline incremental value, but you do have the segment incremental value set. So the program's displaying the segment incremental values. So it all carries an RE prefix designation, and then the 1, 2, 3 are the individual segment incremental designations.
Is there a way to, and I say that because it wouldn't carry on the end here, I had to create a new one on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it stopped at 12, right? And then it created some other letter, so I started GE for end. Is there a way to like carry on from 12 so I can make this 13 and 14 like I could at Hydralist? Or is there a way, am I at the program's mercy?
Well, so more than likely when you were assigning these pipelines, you didn't have that merge branch line pipelines
Correct.
across intersections, so it was breaking it, and it was trying to assign a different.
Now it won't. Okay.
Right. So now, if you were to delete that and repeat the process, it should carry that incremental value across that end piece.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to keep plugging away and listen on. If I have any other questions, I'll chime in at the end.
Perfect. Sounds good.